Ait Native. My name is Satit Stachum. My English name is Angela Marston. I'm from Chemainus, and I'm here to talk to you today about cedar. I think I was 12 years old when I first started learning how to weave. Kathy Edgar came and taught a weaving class in my house for my mom and a bunch of her friends, and that's when I first started learning. But we were learning with 3-corner grass and raffia and cut grass, so I don't really do a lot of that kind of weaving anymore, but that's how I first started to learn. And then I didn't do weaving for many years until my brothers started asking me to make rope for their carvings and weave the lids for their bentwood boxes, and that's when I started doing it more consistently. But when I first started to learn how to collect cedar bark, I think I was probably around the same age, 12 or 13, when we first went out. The late Simon Charlie took us out for our first lesson when I was little, this one time.
Yeah.
When we had permission from the logging companies and we went to Port Alberni and we went up the mountains. The timing was so perfect that we were able to just roll the inner bark away from the outer bark, which the only one time that's ever happened for me. But timing and the weather and where the cedar trees are located is really important when you're collecting. So you have to always be aware and checking on sort of the season, and because of global warming, and you know, there might be people out there that don't believe that there's global warming or argue about that, or the scientists or whatever, but just from in my 20-something years of collecting cedar bark, it's changed by about a month. So in the early spring now is when we go in this area. So before I go out to collect anything, I do a pro. Some people will call it praying. Some people might smudge, and I think it's very specific to what works for the individual. For me, I quiet my mind and I ground myself. Sometimes I'll do a little quiet drumming because I'm not a very loud or vocal person, and I'll sing a little song, but almost very quietly to myself, because it really is about preparing my own self and my own spirit to connect with the land and the air and the trees. And that's a way of showing respect for myself, but also for the material that we're collecting. When I'm out in the forest and I'm getting ready to collect cedar from a tree, I don't just go up to it and start ripping all the cedar bark off, because sometimes what happens if you don't ask permission, if you don't slow down and take the time that you need to ground yourself and connect spiritually with the tree, sometimes they won't let you take the bark, and you'll be trying to pull the bark off and it won't let it go. And I've been in a situation where I was trying to hurry and be really quick, and I forgot this step, and I was not able to pull one single strip of cedar off of the tree. So it's really, really important that when you're preparing yourself to go and collect any kind of plants or, you know, materials for weaving out of the forest, that you spiritually prepare yourself and do the protocols that you're taught to take care of the spirit of yourself, but also of the trees.